Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you to you guys for being here today. And thank you, obviously, to all the sponsors that made this event possible. My name is Roberto Peruzzo. I'm a software developer at Sparfabric, an Italian tech company based in Milan. I contribute to a couple of Drupal module and DDev add-ons. What else? If you want to contact me, or if you want to have more information about this session, you can reach me out using these contacts over there. And a few words about Sparfabric. We build custom software application, and we support our client to manage complex cloud-native applications and platforms. And we try to help them to embrace this new era of AI. We are a partner of the major cloud platforms, and we are active members of the key foundations in cloud computing, Linux, and cybersecurity. Today's topic is Typesense and semantic search. Here is what we'll cover today. We'll start by looking at the challenges the semantic search can solve. Then we introduce how the AI can help or can improve the search experience. Next, I'll try to explain why Typesense could be a good match for the semantic search. And finally, we deep dive in the practical side in integrating Typesense in Drupal. So to understand the true power of the semantic search, we have to start at the beginning and talk about the traditional search. Its strength is the speed, because it quickly finds the exact matches between the key you type, the keywords you type, and the indexed contents. Sorry. And it's pretty much how the Drupal page search module works. And does anyone of you have used this module? Is it in the core? Never? Yeah, me too. In the past, I use it. And I would like to tell you a quick story about that. Some years ago, when I was a freelancer, I was working on a Drupal website that offered online courses. And every time my customer published some new article, some new course, he had reached out to me saying, the visitor cannot find the content that I just published. Why? Most of the time, it's not a problem of Drupal or the platform. It was with the users, how the users were searching. What I mean, sometimes they didn't know the exact name of the course or the exact name of something, commit some typos on search and on searching, and he didn't get any results. Or maybe he typed out a full complex question that the system doesn't understand, and so no results. And what I learned in that case, I learned that there's three kind of failure in this way to search. Well, first of all, I feel sad. So as a developer, I feel sad and I failed because I cannot predict how the user do or phrase his search. And then the user lose too because he cannot get the results or the things that are, he's looking for. And finally, even the company lose because it cannot sell the products, or it cannot reach their customers and sell the products because it doesn't appear. So here is where the semantic search comes in, because it can understand the intent of the user, can understand the context we are talking about, and thanks to the artificial intelligence. So what we have learned so far, well, obviously the traditional search is not so smart. On the other side, the semantic search can correct, can understand the query and the question the user are typing. And another key point, I think, is using the AI, you can, the semantic search can adapt to the user behavior, and can adapt to the content changes. And this is the most important thing and the greatest thing, because you cannot you cannot predict how the user interact with your website. And so using the AI can understand the behavior, can understand what you are looking for, and you can tell to the, how can I explain? You can tell to the AI that you want to use only a specific context or content to formulate the answers. And let's say how. So how the AI can enhance or can improve the search experience. It uses, as Jamie has talked about, it uses a technique called a process called retrieval augmented generation. What it means? This process can specify the boundaries of contents you want to use to create the output. How does it work? So to work, it needs a vector database. A vector database can store the semantic meaning of the text. And in this image, I use only 3 dimensions, only to understand a bit how it works. But vector database can have 1,000 of dimension to capture the mood, the tone, the sentiment, and the other stuff of the text. Okay, and inside the vector database, we have bunch, million of floating point arrays. And how does it work? So the LLM, so the model language, takes, starting from the left, the language model takes the text, the unstructured data, and transform this text into numbers, floating numbers, and store it inside the text. The LLM, in this case, try to understand obviously the meaning, the sentiment of the text, transform it in a floating point, and store it inside the database. And how it happens when I type a question to my system. So the question is converted in a floating point arrays. Then we can compare this array with those that are into the vector database, and retrieve only what we need, what it is similar of what I asking for. And this is the relevant knowledge that we passed to the LLM together with my question, and the LLM create the answers using a small part of the context, what is very relevant to my question. So what we need to do this kind of thing, so what we need to create a semantic search, we need obviously the content, we need a vector database, and we need large language model. And now the question is why we have to prefer Typesense instead of other things, because we have other there's a lot of language model, there's a lot of vector database, and why we have to use it. And the reason maybe inside this sentence. So Typesense is presented as open source alternative to Algolia plus Pinecone. Okay, does anyone knows Algolia? Do you know Algolia what it is? Okay, and Pinecone, yes, it's a vector database. So in this phrase is not the open source word that matters here, but is how can I explain? Is the fact that we are using two tools and we have to put together. Okay? Typesense have all you need inside one product. This is the key. Some information. Typesense is written in C++. Is very, very popular in GitHub. You can install in your local machine, your data center, where you want, or use the cloud subscription as a software as a service. And the real key is that it's easy to set up. I tell you a secret. I think in Typesense they are obsessed by the speed, because they talk about want to reduce the time to market. They want to create an instant search experience. And this is your power, because they want to create a kind of product with batteries included. So create a product with defaults, configurations that works pretty well with a lot of cases. And you can only to install Typesense, and it works. Okay, this is the key, the power of this tool, and it has a lot of features inside, and all of this stuff are building the Typesense. That really matter today is the vector and semantic. For this topic is a vector and semantic feature, because it has its own vector database and has a built-in LLM to convert the text into vectors, like we saw in the previous slide. So, another thing, if you go to the GitHub, you can find this roadmap where is a public roadmap where you can look what they are working on. So all the tasks, so all the stuff they are working, and the current version is 28.0, and they usually release a new version every 2 or 3 months. Okay, another thing, they have a lots of integration already built for a lots of kind of stuff, e-commerce, CMS, and so on. But obviously, if you go to the home page, you don't see Drupal. And so, where is Drupal? Okay, there is, there is. If you go inside the API clients page, you can find it, and there's a module for that. Okay, so if you want to play with Typesense, Drupal, and vector databases, it's you have only to download it and try it. If you want, you can use it in your local machine using this add-on. And if you prefer, if you are lazy like me, you can use, I prepare a bash script that install all the stuff you need to spin up Drupal website with Typesense, and obviously, if you look at the first row, the first line, we have the AI module and the AI provider, OpenAI. Why we need it? Because we need a provider to set up conversation with the system. So we use, in this case, we use the OpenAI provider to interact with the system. Okay. So now, do you know Search API? Have you ever used it? Yeah. So you know how to set up an Search API. I try to focus on and point out some stuff you have to be careful to set up. In this case, using Typesense. So first of all, we need to create to set up an OpenAI provider. So you go inside this page, create, you put inside your API key, and create a setup. And then you go inside the Search API module and create a new server. What you need is the Typesense API key. In this case, we have ddev because it is the default one in the Docker Compose. And then you have to set up at least one node. In this case, we are running only one instance of Typesense inside your machine. And so you have to set up. If you want to try, you can use the cloud, the Typesense cloud. And so you can create multiple instances of Typesense. And you can use the advantage of the search delivery network. So you can have different instances and then use the nearest of the nearest to the query who are the querying the system. Okay, yeah, this is the Docker Compose. And here you see the Typesense API key, and it's a variable, environment variable, where you can set up. And in this case, we have ddev as default, but it's up to you to update this thing. Once you have created the server, we have some new tabs over there, and we have some metrics about the server, CPU and memory, and so on. You can manage the API keys to a single purpose, so you can create I don't know, a key for a determined period and for some particular purpose, so search or something else. But the stop words, if you want that some kind of words, you don't want to index some kind of words. And the conversation models, this is what we interest more, because we have to add a conversation model. And in this case, you can see in this select box, we have all the language model from the OpenAI, because we created, before we created the, we set up the provider. So this is all the model language we have from that provider. And yeah, when you create the server, you have to, when you create the conversation model, you have to put inside a system prompt. In this case, I used an example from the Typesense website, and the prompt is useful because you can modify or adapt the way your system responds to the queries. So in this case, I use you are an assistant, and you have to respond using only the content inside the website, and so on. Okay, another particular thing you have to care about is the field settings. So you create the server, then you create the index, and you choose which fields you want to use and you want to index. In this case, you have to, for each fields, you have to choose the right Typesense type, field type. If you don't use one of this kind of this type, you cannot index anything in your website. Okay. After that, for each field, you have to configure the schema. The schema is how you want to expose your fields to Typesense. So, I mean, if you want to use a particular fields in a facet search, or if a particular field is required or not, and so on. And in the end, we have to set up which LLM we want to use to convert the text from unstructured data to a vector. As I said before, you can use it, the local ones, and is the bunch of those have the prefix TS, stand for Typesense, obviously. And so Typesense has all these LLM built in, and you can use it to convert to create the vectors. And in this case, we have the OpenAI too, because I add the provider. And so you are, it's up to you. You can use it, the external API, OpenAI model, or the built-in and inside your machine. Okay, and then another thing, you can choose the chunk size. I forgot to tell you that when the text is converted in arrays, in vectors, we don't take all the texts of I don't know, of a page, but we split the text in some part called chunk, and in this case we have chunk. The chunk size is 1,000 characters. So we split the text and we convert the text in vector, and we store in the database. And then we have a chunk overlap size to better understand the similarity between the chunk. Okay, this is an example. I did it. The Search API Typesense module has this page to test, to converse with the system, and to test if correctly indexed all the content, and if respond to our questions in a good way. In this case, I used the profile, umami profile, and I indexed all the content, and I asked for vegan recipes. This is the result. Okay, so behind the scene, what happened? Well, the module do an API call. This is an example where exclude the fields called embeddings, because the field embeddings inside Typesense are the fields containing all the floating points numbers. So we want to exclude because it's only trash for us for the result. And yeah, it use the cosine similarity to match the the similar documents inside the Typesense. Okay, we are almost at the end. Bad or good news? Well, this module doesn't have an integration with views. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on the point of view. Because sorry, because, well, you're wondering, and so if there is not an integration with views, how can I build a search page? Well, you have to use the instant search library. It's a library created to build search pages. And the Typesense team have implemented an adapter for this library. Implemented an adapter so you can, this is a snippet, an example. So you can use this adapter to create your page. It's quite easy. Obviously, if you want to have a good user experience, you have to add a lot of CSS styles and stuff like that. But it's very easy. And inside the module, the pages for testing the search are built using instant searches, so you can use it as examples, starting example. And what about, sorry, what about if the views integration is a good or a bad thing? This is an example. It is a demo my colleague Luca Lusso did on DrupalCon Barcelona last year. It used Search API Solar here to create, to index all the content and to create this page using views, obviously. And I think it was 15,000 content inside this site, and the result of this search takes 174 milliseconds. It's a good speed, but when you create a page using instant search, and he did the same search, and the result was 15 milliseconds, a good improvement, I guess. And this is because we don't have a complex structure in the middle. So the client, so in this case the browser using the JavaScript, communicate directly with Typesense. And so it may be a good thing for the performances. So I don't know. I don't know if someone want to propose a views integration. We are here, we can discuss about it, but I think if we look at the performances, probably is not a way to follow. Okay, what's next? Well, there's an issue that I'm working on, is for embeddings to extract the text from PDF, and so use the content of PDF in the semantic search. Well, I implement a proof of concept, but I was wondering if it's the good way to follow, and probably I I just think it to change something and use search API attachments and create a plugin for the unstructured.io service. That is a service to extract using the AI, extract text from images and PDFs and lots of other documents. So, and another news, in the next version of Typesense, there will be the streaming text, what it is, like the ChatGPT. When you interact with ChatGPT, you query, and then the text is streamed out, and not in one shot. So, okay, we are almost at the end, and what the search API Typesense doesn't have. A lot of things, a lot of things. So there's a lot of things we need to implement, and so we are here. You are in the contribution room if you want to understand how it works, or if you have, or if you want to contribute to it. Feel free to contact me, and I think that I have finished with that. Thank you very much. Any questions?
I was wondering about the cost of using this, because at the end you have to rely on an artificial intelligence model, and if you have a lot of searches, maybe the cost could be high.
So you are, I don't know if I understand correctly, you are referring to the cost to implement this kind of thing?
Well, not implementing, but running it.
Running for the, well, I didn't go deeper to understand how much does it cost, because the test we did, it cost really a couple of euro. So we don't spend a lot to do this kind of demo and to try. So I don't know, in complex, in real project, how much. We didn't use it for now. We didn't use it in a real project. We are only testing and prototyping. So, but I think it is it is cheap to test, because I remember we test for 1 month with this stuff, and we pay 1 or 2 euro.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. See you.